Today, we're talking about beta readers. I took a poll on Instagram and I got quite a few questions about the beta reading process and whatnot. So, that's what we're talking about today. Dylan, cue the intro. What's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Alyssa. I'm a writer, editor, full-time 9-to-5 employee, and I currently own my own publishing company called Kingdom Books. And on this channel, I teach you habits, mindsets, tips, tricks, all that jazz that you need to know to become a successful authorpreneur. So today, as I said before, we're talking about beta readers. I held a poll on Instagram asking about the process, which I think I just said this in the intro already, but we're rolling with it. And I got a few questions, 8 questions to be precise. So I will answer them in today's video. So here are the 8 things to know about the beta reading process. Question number 1, how do you find beta readers? I have heard tales of people finding beta readers on different forums that are specifically meant for that sort of thing, but I found mine all on Instagram. I put out a call on Instagram and Facebook, and for about a week I was like promoting my book. I was sharing little snippets of my book, and I was constantly holding like, are you interested in beta reading for this? Do you like to read this sort of genre story, etc. in my stories. And anyone who just said yes, I private messaged them and like gave them a little more information, and if they wanted to be a beta reader, I sent them my application. So that's how I found mine. I'd been building my online platform for about a year or two consistently, so that I have a small pool of people to be able to ask in order to do that. If you're just starting out, you might not quite have the whole range. But even then, on Instagram, they like, if you search the hashtag related to writing, and especially related to writing in your genre, a lot of those people are readers too. So you could just reach out to people directly that you find in the Explorer or whatever and see if they're interested in doing it. But I found all of my beta readers on Instagram. I had 2 that started out that I found on Facebook, but they ended up dropping out before the first week started. So I'd say Instagram, that's definitely where it's at for me. Question number 2, what do you look for in a good beta reader? So I think only one of my beta readers has been a beta reader before, so I wouldn't put that as a requirement necessarily, but you want to definitely make sure that they read your target genre. Because if they don't read your book genre on a normal basis and they're just wanting to help out with your book because they like you as a person or they're a friend or something like that, they're not going to be able to give the kind of feedback that you want to get from them, because they won't have had a lot of exposure to the genre that you're writing in. And the whole point of beta reading is, at least for me, is to see how it's going to be received by your target market and to make adjustments based on what they find in your story that need fixing. So I would say that for sure, make sure they read in your target genre is super important. Yeah, that's really the main thing for me. I don't care if they're a writer, although I think, yeah, all of my beta readers are also writers, but I don't think that's a requirement either for being a beta reader. I think the most important thing is that they love to read, and they love to read the type of story that you're writing. So those are the 2 requirements, I would say. And that they can have like the time, that too. That's also very important, that they can commit to the actual time. That is very, very important for a good beta reader. So you want to be upfront and clear about that beforehand, how you're going to break it down, how it's going to work, so that they will know whether or not they can commit to it. Because otherwise you're just left there waiting aimlessly, wondering when people are going to submit chapters. So yeah, they need to be readers, they need to read your target market, genre sort of thing, and they need to be able to commit to the time commitment. Question number 3, how many beta readers do you usually get? I shot for 10. I think 10 is a really manageable number, especially given the type of experience I've had so far. I would say no more than 15 if you're very ambitious, but 10 I think is a good number for like a round at a time. If you want to do multiple rounds of 10, I think that would work out really well. I have 6 right now. I wouldn't want to have any less than 5, just because with between like 5 to 10, you're able to spot patterns more effectively when people start noticing things in your book. I noticed that a lot of the feedback I'm getting with my 6 beta readers is a lot of times like 3 out of the 6 or 4 out of the 6 will have similar comments, and then that's when I know that those parts of the books are areas that I'll really want to pay attention to, or areas that I really want to keep going forward with the edits in my book. So I would say 5 to 10 at a time is how many you would want, and then how many rounds you do is completely up to you. Question number 4, do you pay them? It's not typical to pay beta readers. I have had some people slide into my Instagram DMs and ask me if I was looking for beta readers, and then when I would say yes, they'd be like, awesome, I'd love to beta read for you, but I charge. And that's not really something you charge for. I haven't heard, or I don't know any authors that pay beta readers. It's something that you do on a volunteer basis. So I would say no, don't pay them unless you really, really want to. But if you are paying them, like, make sure they're a very fancy person who it's like, wow, you really need their beta reader feedback, because guaranteed you're going to be able to find beta readers to do this for free. Question number 5, how do you trust them? Well, your work is actually copyrighted the moment you start writing it. If you live in the US, I'm not sure about copyright laws in other countries actually, but with the US, you actually have copyright privileges over your work without officially registering it with like the nation or whatever. And those copyright rules hold for several other countries as well. So even if you have beta readers in Europe and you live in the US, a lot of the European countries fall under the US copyright laws for US citizens. So you don't like really have to worry from a legal perspective of that happening, unless like like you have the ability to sue if you want to go that route. But also, a lot of people aren't volunteering to beta read to steal your work, especially your work that's not like ready to be published yet. The whole point of this is that it's not great yet, and you need feedback to make it better, and that's not typically the sort of thing people are looking to plagiarize off of. And like, just my beta readers, they're so amazing and sweet, and I like can't imagine any of them wanting to do that, just because they really truly feel like great people and I trust them. So yeah, I think, you know, have a screening process and make sure that there's that understanding that your work isn't to be copyrighted, that you have legal copyright rights to it, and if that's something that you want like language for, let me know, because I could give that to you. But you want to send that out in your initial email before people really commit and say yes. You want to outline all of your expectations, and that includes your expectations for not sharing your work. Question number 6, what is your favorite thing to learn from beta readers? Questions, reactions, etc. I mean, obviously I like getting compliments. I love knowing what my beta readers love about this story, because that makes me very happy, and you know, as the author, I love a lot of things about my story, so it's really, really cool when other people love those things as well. But I really also like to know when things aren't making sense, or where where people start to lose kind of interest in the chapter or a scene. I was reading back on some of my feedback the other day, and a lot of people said that when they hit the descriptive parts, like they realized why it was necessary, but it felt like it was a little much. And so I know that going back, I'm going to have to revise those descriptions and probably incorporate it more in a way to where I'm doing more showing and less telling, so that they're walking through the experience with my character as opposed to just being bombarded with all this information. So knowing areas like that where stuff starts getting confusing or overwhelming is really helpful for edits. But just like on a personal level, I love hearing, especially characters. I've had a couple characters where people start like fangirling over, and that makes me happy because I've fangirled over my character before. And it's fun when other people do the same thing. Question number 7. What is something you would recommend not getting hung up about in regards to beta reader feedback? So definitely don't get hung up on like any sort of constructive criticism or feedback. That is the whole reason why this is happening, and it can kind of be a little discouraging sometimes when you see stuff like that, but you know it's ultimately for the betterance of your book. You want that there so that you can make it better and so that you can make it like the best product that your reader is going to enjoy the most. So I would say definitely don't get hung up on the constructive criticism. And don't get hung up, this isn't really a feedback thing, but don't get hung up on the mental games you play with yourself. I spent 45 minutes editing 2 sentences about how my main character was getting off a bus after an earthquake. And like really in hindsight, I probably didn't need to do that because whatever I changed it to right now might not even be what it is in the final version. So don't worry about being perfect when you're sending it to your betas, and don't worry about constructive criticism because it's there to help make your book better. Question number 8. What is your greatest takeaway from the experience? My greatest takeaway I think has actually kind of been an emotional one a little bit. Having other people read my work. This is the first time that I've had people who I don't know very well, people who haven't grown up with my writing style, look at any sort of fiction work that I've written, and to see that they genuinely enjoy parts of it and that there's characters that they genuinely love has been so affirmational for me as a writer. It's helped me realize, I think a lot of times as writers we get caught up in the, oh, what if this isn't good enough, or this is like super sucks, and it can be really, really hard on our writing sometimes. So to see that there's parts of my writing that people really love gives me a lot of hope and a lot of strength as a writer to just really step into the fact that like I can create something that people will enjoy. And yeah, that's probably my biggest takeaway from this, is that I can create something that people will enjoy. And that is a very powerful thing to take away, I think. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted questions for this video. If you have any other questions about the beta reader process, let me know down in the comments below. And if there's enough, maybe I'll make a part 2, or if there's not enough, I'll just answer you directly in the comments. Yeah, that's about it. If you'd like to receive weekly videos on how to develop the proper mindsets, tips, habits to become a successful authorpreneur, go ahead and subscribe. Videos go out every Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, bye!